During this tutorial of basic editing and character formatting, you will learn how to use the undo and redo button, simple line selection, how to use the font command group options such as font style, font size, font color, highlighting text, and character formatting.
Now that we have covered some basic processes of creating a document, saving it, and printing it, let's dive into the document itself and more of the formatting and editing features that are available. So first we will talk about the undo and redo feature. I'm going to start, where we left off and type a simple sentence here. And if I click undo, which is the arrow at the top pointing to the left, it now takes away that whole entire sentence. Redo is the one right next to it that points to the right. And now my sentence is back. Sometimes it may not undo everything that you wanted to undo, or it may undo too much. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not sure what determines how much it removes at a time. I think it actually has something to do with the keystrokes and how fast you type. Because sometimes I've found that, I can type something, kind of have a pause where maybe I was thinking, about what I wanted to say. And then when you hit undo, it doesn't actually undo the entire sentence. Well, in this case it did. And that's where I say, sometimes I can never outguess it. But it seems like sometimes it may only undo a word. Okay. So if it undoes too much, then you can click redo. If it doesn't undo enough, you can hit undo again and again and again. And it will continue to undo until it doesn't have any more steps that it can undo. So now I'm redoing everything again. And that is the undo, redo. Where it really comes in handy is if you make a mistake and you don't know what you did to the document and you just want to get it back the way it was before. That's where I found this undo the most helpful, or the redo. If you accidentally delete something and you didn't mean to delete it, just click redo and it should bring everything back. So for some other editing components and formatting of characters, I want to talk about using this font command group and what's available within it. The first thing that you need to understand, though, is to be able to edit any of these words on the paper, you do have to make sure whatever word you're wanting to change, that it is highlighted. So you take your mouse, you click and drag, and you highlight the word you want to change. So if I wanted the word hot to be in bold and I wanted it to be in red, that word has to be highlighted in order for that to change. Now I'm going to undo the changes I just made to again show you that example, and now we're back to it just being in regular text and black lettering. Simple line selection. This can sometimes help when you normally would click and drag, what you want to change in terms of the text. Sometimes we drag too far, sometimes we don't drag far enough, we struggle with the mouse, it's not highlighting what we want to drag. So as a shortcut, you can do what's called simple line selection. And essentially, the point of the paper to your words is considered the margin. And if you put your cursor in the margin and you just click once, it will highlight the entire sentence of that line. And now we get a shortcut font box that comes up. So again, we can bold, italicize, change the color of the font. It's just a shortcut that's available for you. If you're wanting to select the entire document, instead of having to click and drag and scroll all the way up, you can just go to the margin and click 3 times, and it should select the entire document. 1, 2, 3. Oops, I clicked 4. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And so now the entire document is highlighted, and then we can go through and we can edit the font here. So the first thing I want to show you is the actual font that you can change. Maybe Georgia, Calibri, Arial. And as you scroll over them, it will show you what that kind of font looks like. So you can determine if it's easy enough to read or if that's the style that you would like. So I'm going to go with, let's go Arial Black. You can then change the size of the font by clicking the down arrow where you see the 11, and it can go all the way up to 72. You can also customize the font by typing in a number. So 13 is not listed here. It goes from 12 to 14. But let's say we want 13. We could type in 13 and hit enter, and it will change to size 13 font. You can also use the big A, little a to change the size of the font. If you click the big A, it'll continue to enlarge until it can't enlarge any longer. As well as the little a will continue to make it smaller and smaller and smaller. Just another little shortcut to help you with increasing or decreasing your font size. I'm going to change something here just so that you can see how this alters the text. So if we want to change the way that our sentences appear, you can click the big A, little a, and you'll have the option of sentence case. So like today is a great day. I capitalize the G and the D, which in a regular sentence normally wouldn't be capitalized. If I choose sentence case, it should undo that for us. So I'm going to click another one first. Let's do lowercase. So it brought everything to lowercase. Now if I do sentence case, now today is a great day. Great day is not capitalized. So it will fix that. We can make it all uppercase. We can also capitalize each word. Or you can do toggle case. So it's another way to change the formatting of your sentences just by a simple click of a button. Most often though, you're probably going to want it in the sentence case. You then can use the bold as we mentioned before. Bold, italics, underline, strike through. This changes, where the word appears on the line, like whether it's lower or higher, and that's what that 2 is there for in the text. And you can kind of see how the word hot changes there. You can also, with it being highlighted, change the text effects. So there's some pre-set text effects that you could choose. And let's say you don't like the color yellow, you can go through here and you could change the color of the outline. Maybe you want the outline to be purple. So you've got some options, or maybe you want to add a shadow. And we didn't get that done correctly because my thing wasn't highlighted, so I apologize. So make sure it's highlighted, and now you can add a shadow. You can do a reflection. You can do a glow. It's got all different kinds of settings available. And then the next thing I want to show you is the highlighter. The highlighter will be right here where it says AB. And if you want to highlight something, you first need to highlight what you want to highlight. And then you can change the color. If you scroll over them, it will show you what that looks like. On this one, because we do have the font in a colorful font for black, if our words were in black, you probably would have difficulty seeing it. And so you wouldn't necessarily want to use the black highlighter unless you're really trying to black something out in a document. So just be aware of that, because it would look similar to that if everything was black and then you put the black highlighter over it. But let's say we don't want this any longer. If we highlight over the black, we can go to our highlight button and click no color, and it will bring the word back. You'll also notice when you have the highlighter clicked, you should have your cursor look like a little highlighter. So if you haven't already highlighted the words you want to highlight, you can just turn the highlighter on, and then as you come across things, you can just scroll over it. And then highlight it that way. So two options. You can then change the color of your font. Again, it has to be highlighted. What you're wanting to change. And so I want to go back to where there's no highlights. I want to change all of this again to be consistent. So I'm going to practice my simple line selection. I'm going to click 3 times, and I'm going to go back to just automatic black text. Okay. So now it's a little bit easier to read here. You've also got the dialog launch box, and this will give you more choices as well when it comes to your font, from scaling, spacing, position. You can also click where it says font. You'll have 2 headings here, font or advanced, and you can make those changes as well, and also additional effects. And then once you've set up your font the way you like, you just click OK. So that is just another option to make those changes. So we've gone over the font command group, showing you how to change the style of font, the size of font, as well as the additional effects, bold, italics, underline, highlighting, and changing the colors.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more content. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.